The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Fred in St. Pete. Hey, Fred, what's going on?
Hey, my man Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
No complaints of being positive. Just started listening to your show recently, and you've been more spot on than everybody else on the TV. And you just came across real positive.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, after I listened to you, I got hooked on. I had to track you down and find you on the internet and everything else.
Well, you know, I got to give you this disclaimer, because this is what it is. Fred, this is like Hotel California. Once you check in, you can't check out, you know.
I see that. It's like a drug.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Cultivate wisdom. You don't need to accumulate knowledge to become wise. Anyone can become wise. When you become wise, you respect your body, you respect your mind, and you respect your soul. When you become wise, your life is controlled by your heart, not your head. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 422, Nasdaq up $111, S&P's up 51, gold contract down $28, trading at $1,756 after hitting all-time highs at $1,818. Silver down 66 cents, trading out at $38.66. Platinum up $16 at $1,786 an ounce. Copper up 5 pennies at $4.04 a pound. Light sweet crude up $2.69, trading out at $85.58 a barrel. Bonds down 3 points at 135.12. Dollar index up 26 ticks at 74.79. Euro up 4 ticks at 142, and the yen flat at 76.84. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. You have to love it, folks. I'm telling you. Volatility in spades. What do you have? Well, we've got 4 days out here that in the saddle, the horse is bucking up, down, and all around. Bottom line, folks, is that you go up 51 bucks today. You're going into the 8th on the way down. We did 1.6 billion shares here. And what you're going to see, we're at that 1172. This is going to make its way into that 1249 area. Not that that's that much, too. The amazing part, you got to remember something. We get option expiration next week. You're coming off a bottom, and you're coming off an intense bottom. And what I mean specifically is this, is that when you're up, down, and all around coming into these bottoms, the bulls won't buy, the bears won't sell, and that makes a heavier bottom. That's what you have here. Now, after I go through this, I'm going to go through what you had happen this morning, because this morning was pretty unique what was going on. Dow Industrials, what we did with the Dow is this. Dow is up 423. You're at that 11,1143 mark right now, and she's going to be getting into that 11,555 mark. The composite, Nasdaq composite. Composite gets up 111 bucks. We are at the 24.92 mark. That's going to be making its way into that 26 mark. Now, the thing is pretty wild, folks. Just one more day like this in the composite, and that's the first leg where it wants to go into. So you're going to still have to have fast fingers around here. Now, the composite did 3.1 billion shares versus 3.4. You had some juice inside the composite. That's what the composite does need, no doubt. Let's go to the... Well, here, if we take a look percentage-wise, this is what you had. You had the Dow up 3.95%, the S&Ps were up 4.5%, and the Nasdaq Composite was up 4.6%. The NDX 100, that's where the juice is, folks. What you had with the NDX 100 is this. The Qs were up $2.02. We did 136 million shares. You are at 53.10 now. 53.77 is the first place that, you know, it's going to be a little heads up here. So it's going to be interesting how we get into that level. Once you get into that level, then you got game, and it's some pretty good game, too. Okay, this morning, folks, what we had to happen out here this morning was this, is that if you were watching the TV this morning or any of the quotes, what you had is that we had the futures, S&P futures up 12 or 13. They come back down 12 or 13. NASDAQ futures, in the meantime, also came back. What also happened, though, so first off, what they were doing, if you're watching Tiger TV, I'm going to bring this up so I can show you S&P-wise what they were doing. S&P-wise what they were doing is that they were basically coming right back into the 220 level from the announcement of the Fed. That's what they were doing. They were coming back and they were dramatically lighter volume. Now the disconnect, the total disconnect, and this is what's so cool when you're looking for bottoms being formed, was this. The NASDAQ futures, folks, were down. Yet the QQQ was up. That's impossible. And that was giving you a clue that bottom line is that the fear was extraordinary, no doubt. The market itself was, you know, all over the place. But the bottom line is that that disconnect, when you trade both of them, which I do, that disconnect flat out is saying that you are going topside. And bottom line, it didn't take long. And that's why these correlations, when we go through all these different markets, it's important to understand the correlation number one. Now, that correlation that I'm talking about is a direct correlation. Mathematically, it can't happen. Mathematically, it does happen. It's very unusual when it does happen. It does happen with fear and volatility in the marketplace, though. That's where it shakes out. Now, the next thing that you do, because the question should be next, that, well, hey, how do you know which one is which? Meaning that which one is right. Well, what you do is that's where you know what the weighting structure is inside the NASDAQ 100. And, of course, we talk about it a lot. And sure enough, what was happening simultaneously was, well, bottom line, you know, Cisco had been up from last night. Cisco stayed up. You know, bottom line, when we take a look at Cisco, that structure inside there, bottom line, is a nice weighting structure inside the NDX 100. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Let's go over to the gold contract. We take a look at gold out here today. What gold did is this. Gold got to a high of $1,817. It come off that high. We closed the first session out at 1757.50. You're at the 1757.50 right now. We did 311,000 contracts. You know, we'll see how it comes into the lower levels. The way that the contract is set up right now, folks, it looks to me like it's an ABC down into that 1680 level. The first leg is quite a leg on the way down. Each one of these legs on the way back up had lighter volume. That's saying that's the first leg down. We go over to the bond market. We take a look at bonds, volatility in spades, and I mean in spades. Pretty amazing. The bonds out here today, this is just amazing when you take a look at this. So bonds go from 138.22 down to 135.14. Pretty amazing, okay? Come down 599,000 contracts. Bottom line comes down on some juice. Now the actual, if you want to see the actual rates, the rate contrast was pretty incredible. The rate contrast on this is the cash rate on the 30-year bond, folks, was actually down 5 full points. Big, big, big numbers. That's the bottom line. You know, it was right now the 30-year is yielding 3.782. Big numbers. It was 5% change. That's the bottom line. We go take a look at some of the high volume stocks out here today. This is what you had. We had ExxonMobil was up 3.55. You had Alcoa up 60 cents. Dell was up 102. Johnson & Johnson was up 3.43. Sprint and Nextel couldn't move, which is for a day like today, you better watch out for Sprint. You had News Corporation was up 2.48. Wells Fargo 1.41. J.P. Morgan Chase 2.32. Oracle Corporation was up 1.21. We take a look at 3M. 3M today There she is. 3M was up $2.99, trading out at $81.22. We go over and we take a look at that Walmart. Walmart's been trying to get off the bottom. Walmart's having a tough time here, folks. Now, Walmart was up $1.32 today, but Walmart is number one at lows. Number two, it looks to me that this little baby is going to get right back down to those lower levels. Okay, so now, high volatility. You're coming into Friday. We have option expiration next Friday. What does it mean? This is what you're going to be looking for, folks. First off, when you come off a bottom like this, and what I mean specifically is that the volatility on the bottom here has been what makes actually larger bottoms. That's what this is. See, when you come off a bottom and you're going to go right back to the bottom, most of the time you come off with a good V. Bing, down, up, see you later, okay? In this particular case, what you have, because the bulls were challenged so many times in the last 4 days, and the bears were challenged so many times in the last 4 days, what you can expect is a larger bounce. That's what I suspect we have here. And the S&P cash right now, we're at 1172. Now, the first place that the cash is going to have some big flack is coming into the 1249 area. Now, you know, when you're talking the S&P's at 1100, the 1249 area seemed like a big area. Well, bottom line, folks, we're already at 1172. So, let me go through the bull scenario and the bear scenario. The bull scenario goes like this. If the bull scenario is that you don't want to hit the 1249 area on the way back up right now, what you want to do is this. You want to get up about the 1240 area. You want to mess around there for 2 or 3 days. As you're doing that, however, what you want to be seeing is that each and every time you start pushing higher, you see a little more volume come in the marketplace versus pushing lower. If that's the scenario you get, what that is that you're building cause to break into that area. If you were watching the market today, intraday, folks, that's what the market was doing as it was trying to break Tuesday's high. That's exactly what it was trying to do. It wouldn't back off that area. It stayed there for about an hour and a half, kept backing in, back and forth, and finally had the juice to go. That's the bull area. If that's what you do, if you build cause right at that 1240, you're going to have game ASAP into 1300, which I know is a mind blower, but bottom line is that that's the market we're in. The volume characteristic going up there is going to be crucial because two separate issues are out here. The first one, this is the bull scenario, is that as you get up there, the volume dies, you pull back down. Now, when we come back down, this is where the volume is going to help the bulls. It's going to be hard to break these 4 days of heavy volume down here. You stay right there. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. We're going to finish up the bull scenario, and then we're going to go through the bear scenario for you. We ended out up 423. NASDAQ up $111. S&P's up 51. Going to be right back.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex listed